our ACL exercises is based on a case or business scenario. So before we start to touch the data set, I just want to briefly introduce this business scenario. Okay. So the case for our ACL tutorial is about a company named Metaphor Corporation. So this company is a software company. They sell software. So basically, there are several different types of employees in their company. They have like the administrative employees, consultants, and the sales agent. So for each employee, they have a company card. So they can use this card for their job purpose. For example, for the administrative stuff, they may need to buy some business supplies from the vendors. So they can use this credit card to purchase these supplies, like the stationeries or something. And then for the sales agents, they may need to travel a lot to meet the clients and to discuss to sell their product. So they could also use this credit card to book their air tickets, to book the hotel for their travel purpose. Okay? And sometimes, if needed, they will also entertain their client using this credit card to like treat their client for lunch or invite the client to a ball game or something like that. Okay, so in the the company, it has some policy to regulate the usage of the credit card to make sure that the employees just use this credit card for their job purpose. They don't use it for their personal issues to buy their personal things. Okay, so they want the auditors to monitor or to check this credit card transactions, and as part of their company policy, they have a list of the merchants that the companies allowed the employees to like purchase or to expense with this, to do the business with these merchants. And also they have sometimes if the employees need to use the card in the other merchants that are not in the acceptable merchants list, they need their senior managers approve for this transaction. Okay, and also there are certain type of like transactions or the credit card transactions are forbidden according to their policies. For example, the employees cannot use their business credit card for gambling. So in the policy, there are another list that shows all the merchants that are not allowed for the employees to swipe their card in these merchants. So we call those merchants are unacceptable merchants. Okay, so the organization just wants us to check whether there are any transactions that in the current business credit card transactions are related to those unacceptable merchants, or there are other risks that are hidden in the business card transactions. Okay, so this is the basic scenario for this ACL case. And then, since the auditors know this general audit objects, okay, so even though we have the credit card transactions and we know who owns these cards, how can we tell whether the transaction is allowed or not? So we also need to know is what I mentioned, what I just mentioned. There are, the policy related to the vendor. Like we need to know which vendors are acceptable and which vendors are not acceptable. Okay, so basically these are the data we need. in addition to this, we may need some extra data related to like the departments and the basic credit card information, like the balances, the card number, the credit limit, or something like that. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to the. So now we can start our ACL. Go back to our desktop and double-click this ACL sign. So you will see that this is the basic interface of ACL. Okay. Okay, so you can move the web browser into one screen and then leave your ACL in the other screen so you can compare and follow my steps. Okay, so you can see that in the welcome interface of ACL, there are several shortcuts. The first one is create a new project, and the second one is open an existing project. Actually, here in reality, you need to create a new project for this scenario, right? But since there are like six data sets you need to import into this into ACL, and this import usually takes some time. And in order to make this process more efficient, to save some time, I already import this for you, and that's stored in the folder that I just asked you to download. Okay, so you already have ACL project. You just need to click this Open an Existing Project to open it. And then go to the desktop to find this folder, the ACL project. You just download it. Okay. Double-click this folder. You will see there is a project inside named the Metaphor. Okay. So just double-click it. You will see the project. Okay, so everyone have this, right? Okay, you can see that in this project, there are 6 tables that just the 6 data set I showed you. Actually, in reality, when you are doing the audit, you are extracting or you are getting the data from the different departments in the organization. So usually this data, like 6 different data sets, they should be in different formats. Some of them may be in the Excel file. Some of them are maybe just a text file, or some of them are extracted from the like SAP or Oracle database. So it's in another different format. Actually, another one important function of ACL is that it can compatible for all these different data format, this file format. So even though I have already imported this files for you, I just want to show you how ACL can compatible with different data formats. And now I'm going to import several files that one data format to show you the import process. So you don't need to follow me on this because I just want to like save some time. But you can see the process. I will do it, okay? Okay, so in order to import a file into ACL, you can just click the File, New, choose Table. So it will automatically trigger import wizard, or here we call data definition wizard. And then you just click Next. And here it asks you to choose where the data located, okay? In our case, this data located in this PC. So I just choose disk. Then choose Next. And actually the data located in the folder in the C disk. So I just go to that folder. First, I'm going to show you how to import Excel file into ACL. Okay, so let's go to the Excel file here, which is the transactions April file. It's an Excel file. Okay, I just double click it or I choose Open. Then here it's in a PC format. It's not an IBM mainframe computer format. So I don't need to change anything here, and I just click Next. And you can see here ACL asks you to define the type of the file. Actually, for the Excel file, ACL can automatically detect it. So it just shows this is an Excel file. So you don't need to do anything for Excel file here. Then you just click Next. And here, it will list all the spreadsheets in the Excel file. Here, in this case, we only have one spreadsheet, so it just shows one. And if we have more than one, it will show all the spreadsheets in the Excel file. And then you can choose the one that you want to input to import into ACL. Okay. Then here, because we only have one, then we just choose this one and then click Next. And then we just give it a name to be a table in ACL. And we can call it Trends April. Okay, and then you save it. Yes. Okay. And then you finish. Okay. Okay, then now you can see this table is imported in ACL, and it shows in the table list here in the left-hand side. So now you can see that for Excel file, the import process is pretty easy. Almost every step is automated. You just follow the process and click Next and then Next. Okay. Then another common file that usually used in the organization is a text file. Now I'm going to show you how to import text file into ACL. Okay. Here, just click File, New, and then Table again. Then choose Next. Next. Okay, go to this folder. Let's find a text file to import. There's one name here, Company Departments. You can see that it's a text document. Okay, so just click Open, and then Next. Okay, you can see here, the text file is automatically detected as the other format. It's not recognized as the text format. So here we need to change it from the other format to the delimited text file. Okay, and then you just click Next. So you can see that Okay, so you can see that all the fields are shows all the data in different fields that shows in one field. Here we need to define a separator to separate the fields. Okay, there are several separators. You can try here actually in this file. It uses tab as the separator. So if you click tab here, the fields are automatically separated. Okay. And you can see if the first row of this data is the field name, then you can click this, use the first row as the field name. But in this data, it's not, so we don't need to check this. And then we can go next. It will ask us to input the name for the table again. It's just department. We can say it. And then you can see that because in this data set, we don't have a name for each field. So now we have to define a name for each field now. So the name for the first field, you can see that it's the name of the department. So we can call it department name. Department name. Okay. And you can see that there is a type of this field because this is a descriptive field, so it should be in the text format. And this is a text format, so it's okay. And then if you click the second field, the field 2, you can see the second field is highlighted. Okay. Then we also need to input a name for the second field. We can call it department number. Okay. So it's a number for a department. Okay. And here we also need to choose a type for this field. So can you tell me, if you are the editor, which type you want to choose for this field? Department number. It can be, is it text or numeric or the date? Numeric. Okay. Okay, before we start to choose the field type for this field, let me give you some background about the variable type or the field type. So basically there are three, commonly used in business environment, there are three types of data. We can call it categorical data, the numeric data, and the dates. Okay? The dates are easy to understand. It's just like transaction date or employees hired date. Okay? Then we have numeric and categorical. For numeric, they usually use it to represent the amount, like the transaction amount, like the credit limits, or the account balance, something like that, right? You all know that it should be numeric. Well, for the categorical data, they're usually used to present the classes or categories. For example, if we have clothes, we need to categorize clothes by the size. For example, we have large, medium, and small, right? Well, if we have shoes, then we also categorize them by size. But this label or of the category is not the text. No, we don't say this shoe is a large, medium, or small. We say it's number 8 or number 9 or number 7, right? So even though the label of the category is a number, but this is still the categorical data, the size of the shoe. It's not numeric data, right? Actually, the most essential difference between categorical data and numeric data is that whether we want to do the mathematical calculations about the data. So for numeric data, like amounts or the balances, we can add them, and the result is meaningful, right? But for those sizes, if we add the number 7 to number 8, then the result is not meaningful, and we're not going to do that calculation, right? So go back to this example. Then now, do you still think that the type for this field is numeric, or do we want to do any calculation about the department number? No. Yeah. So it should be a text field, right? Categorical field. Categorical field in ACL, we just generally call it text field. Question? Yeah?
Going back to when you separated fields, what if it's separated by something like 10 and with more than one thing it's separated?
Yeah, if it's a comma separated file, then we need to choose comma.
Right, I'm saying, what if there's a combination of field separators?
Oh, you mean the combination? If you know the separator, then here there is another that you can define your own separator. If you know it, you can type the combination or anything else besides this. Okay? Okay. I have to do this again. Okay, so let's go back. So this is the, actually, as I said, the categorical field in ACL is called ASCII text. So just choose ASCII text. Department number. Oops. Number. Let me redo the name again. Department name. Okay. So after we finish the definition of field and the field type, we just click next and then finish, and then OK. Okay. So why we are spending time and we're focusing on defining the file type here? Is it that important for our analysis? Yes, because for some functions that build in ACL, it can only work for the numeric field. And for the other functions, it can only work for the text field. So we have to define the field type currently to make sure that all the fields have correct type. Otherwise, we cannot do some kind of analysis later. Okay. Okay, so this is for the text file. And then another type of file I'm going to show you is the database, access database file. Just choose next and next. Go back to the place that have the original data. It's in C disk ACL data, sample data file. And we can see that there is a Microsoft Access file. It's called acceptable codes. And then we just click open and the next. You can see that as Excel file, the access file can also be automatically recognized by ACL. And then choose next. And it's very similar to Excel file. Here lists the tables that's stored in the access. Because there is only one table, we just choose that one. And then next, give it a name. And then save. And you can see the fields are automatically imported as well. And then finish. Okay. Okay. Okay, one of you have mentioned that we have, besides the text file that's separated by tab, we have some file that may separate by like comma or something else. So let me show you the last type of file is the comma separated file. Here in the file, new table is next, next. Let me find one. Which one is it? Let's name the acceptable code. What else? Employees. Yeah, it's called employees. So just open it, and then next. You can see that comma separated file has been detected as the delimited text file. Actually, it's one type of delimited text file. So we don't need to change anything here. Then we just choose next. And you can see that the comma as the separator has already been recognized. And because the first row here is the field name, so it also automatically check this, use first row as field name. So we don't need to do anything here actually. Then we'll click next. Again, type the name. And then also again check the name, check the type of the field. The first name is text, last name is text, credit card number. Okay, so what type we should choose for credit card number? Yeah, because we don't want to do any calculation on the credit card number, so we choose it as text. And then we have employee number, also should be as text. And then hire date. Here you can see that it's not a date, so we just choose it, change it from text to date. And for date type, for date field, because there are several different formats of date. You can see the month, date, year, or the date, month, year. So usually, if we need to define date field, we need to enter the format here as a parameter. You can in the date format, it should be here. This is month, date, year. Okay, and then you just choose next, and then finish. Okay, so you will see it. You will see the table. Okay. Okay, that's all the 4 types of file, I'm going to show you how to import them into ACL. You can see that the import process is not very complicated. It's pretty straightforward. You just need to, for Excel and Access, you can it automatically deals with anything. But for the text and the comma separated file, you just need to define the name and the field type. Okay. So after we have imported every table in ACL, so can we go ahead and start to do the analysis right away? Or do we need to do some step else before that? What do you think? Yeah, actually, because for the analysis test, every analysis is based on the data, right? So we need to make sure the data is doesn't have any error inside. So it's valid, it's reliable, okay? So we need to test whether the reliability and validity of the data before we start to do the analysis. Otherwise, the result of the analysis is useless, okay? So the first thing is still we need to make sure that all the fields are in the right type. For the text file and the comma separated file, we have defined the field type when we import them. But for the Access and Excel, this process is automated. So this automated process 100% correct? Are there any errors? We need to check. Okay. So now we just go to the tables one by one to check the field and the type. Okay. So you can see that here listed all the tables. When you double-click a table, the table name will be highlighted. And you can see that on the button, the left side button, it will show the name of the table. This tells you that you are working with this table. This is the acceptable codes table. Okay? So in order to check the field and the type of field in this table, you can go to Edit here in the menu, Edit, and then Table Layout. Okay? Then you can see here it lists all the fields in this table. Actually, in this table, there are only 2 fields. And here in the category, it shows the type of the fields. Here, C indicates the categorical text field, and if it's an N, it just means the numeric field. Okay? Actually, both the code and description should be the categorical field. So it's okay for this table. We don't need to change anything. We just close it and go to the next one. Is which one? Yeah. Yeah, the arrows of the field type. Yeah, you just go to Edit and Table Layout. You just check the here lists all the fields. You just check the type one by one. Okay. Okay. Here, so the next table is it credit cards in your project? Okay. Yeah. Then double click credit cards. And again, Edit Table Layout. Okay. So it has more fields here. So the first one, CARDNUM, is a card number. Okay. So here in the categorical field, it's an N indicating it's a numeric field. So do we need to change it? Yeah. Okay. Then we just double click it, and it shows detailed information about this field. Okay. You can see the name and the type here. Here we can just change this from type from numeric to ASCII, which is the text format. Okay, just change it from numeric to ASCII. Okay, after you finish this, just click this green check called Accept Entry. Just click it. Okay, so you will save the change. Okay, then let's go through the other fields like credit limit is numeric, customer number is categorical, expiration date is date, the change is numeric, payment amount numeric, balance numeric, past due amount numeric, payment due date numeric, previous balance numeric, rate numeric, submission date is the date. Okay, the other field are okay. We don't need to do any more changes here. We just close this and then go to the next table. Next one is departments. Double click it to make it highlighted, and then choose edit again, table layout. They just have two fields, and it's the all the categorical. Yeah, those are correct, so we don't need to do anything. And then go to the employees, the next one. Then edit, table layout. Okay, now we have a few fields here. The first one is bonus 2002, and it is categorized as a categorical data. Is it correct? Yeah, the bonus should be numeric, right? Why it is recognized as the categorical data? You can see in the data set, there is a $sign before the amount. So it recognizes it as a text or categorical field. Okay, then we just need to double click it to change the type from ASCII to numeric. Okay, and you can see that in the original data, there are 2 digits after the decimal points, right? So here in the DEC, it indicates the decimal. We just type in 2 here. Okay, and then we accept entry. Okay. Okay, then let's just continue to check the other fields. Card number is categorical, employee number categorical, first name categorical, hire date, last name categorical, salary numeric. It's okay. Okay, all the other fields are okay. So then we just close it. Okay, we have 2 more tables, and then we're done. Okay, then the next one is transactions in April. Just double click it, edit table layout. You can see the transaction amount, the card number, again, it recognized as numeric, so we need to change it here again. The card number in the transaction data. Okay, double click it, change it from numeric to ASCII, and then accept. And then the codes also. The codes, for each credit card purchase or for each credit card transactions, there is a merchant control code. This code indicated which type of merchant these vendors are, what the vendors of the transactions are. So we are using this code to identify which vendors are the accepted vendors and which vendors are the unacceptable vendors. So this vendor's code, similar as the employee number or something, we don't need to do the mathematical calculation on this. So it also should be a categorical field. So we just double click it, change it from numeric to ASCII. Okay, then we accept it. And then we have customer number, description as categorical, transaction date as date. They are fine. Okay, then we just close it and go to our next, our final table is the unacceptable codes. Double click it, edit table layout. there are just two fields and they are both categorical. They're fine. Okay. So now we have tested all the fields and the field type in all the tables in the ACL project. And now, this means that then these tables are all arrow free, or because when we are doing the project with the companies, we find that sometimes there are some like error or intentional fraud, that there are some values in the amount, in certain amount numeric field, they are inputted as a date, so they are end of a very large. Because for a date you have 8 digits, so you end up with a very large amount. So in order to avoid this kind of mistake or this kind of error, we just need to check again whether all the values in each field is consistent with its field type. For example, we don't have any numeric value in the date field, or we don't have any text value in the date field. So in ACL, there is a function can automatically check this. Now it's in the data verify here. Make sure that currently we're in the unacceptable code table. So just click data, choose verify. Here you can see that you can click the verify fields. Here in the right side, it listed all the fields in this table. Actually, there are 2 in this table. And then if you click verify fields, you can choose which field to test. And currently, I want to test all the fields to make sure that all the values in the fields are consistent with its field type. So I can choose just add all, and then choose OK. And then I just click OK. It will show the results. There are no data validity errors detected in this table. So all the values in this table are consistent with its field type. So I'm only going to verify the information in one table, and in your exercise, you can, in your assignment, you are going to be required to do this, to do the verification of the other tables. So this is just want to show you this function. Now currently we have verifying the field type and we verifying the values. So we have done with most of this verification process of the data. And then we are ready to use this data to do the analysis. Now before we want to do that, in auditing, we are required to document our work frequently. So here in ACL, there is a way for you to document your the things you have done. Like here, if you click on one table and you right-click it, there is a properties here. And if you click the table properties, there is a note here. So in the note, you can type what you have done currently and the date of today and what you are going to do next. For example, here for this table, we can set the value verified, and it's June 5th. And then ready to do the analysis or some other notes or the documentation you want to enter here. Yes?
I'm sorry, could you just go over how to get to table properties?
Okay. So you just put your mouse in one table, and then right-click it. You will see the property. Okay, you can see. Then go to Note tab. You can see your note, or you can type in your note here. Okay. Okay. You can see here in your screen, it shows the result of the analysis. Well, if we want to go back to the data, you can see there are several tabs here. The one tab, name of the tab is the table that you are working with. So you can just click this tab to go back to your data. Okay. And actually in ACL, you can add note to each record in the table as well. You can see here, you can see that here in the left-hand side, it lists the number for each record. Okay, for example, for the first one, if you want to ask, if you find something wrong with this record, you want to add a note, and then you could click this number. The first one is the number 1, and then right-click it. You can see there is an added note here. So you can, just like the note that for the table, you can add a note for each record here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now let's start to do the analysis. You can see that the major focus of this scenario is the credit card transactions, right? So we start from the transaction data set. Let's go to the transactions in April. Double-click it. It shows the transaction data set. Okay. When we just have this data set in front of us, maybe before we start to do any detailed analysis or tests, we first want to get a general idea of this data set, like what is the distribution of the months or of the dates and the other fields. So in order to do that, there are some embedded functions in ACL. For example, if you just want to know the total amount of the transactions amount in April, you can use a function in the analysis and total fields. Click it, and you can see that here it just lists one field in this table. It's a month field. Why? Because this function can only work for the numeric field. So the only numeric field in this table is the amount. Okay, so we can choose this field and then click OK. It will show the total, the sum of the amount in the data set. Okay. Okay. And then if you want to know more detailed information about the amount, like the distribution, like what is the maximum amount, what is the average amount, there's another function here. It's in the analysis. There is a statistical, and there is a profile. Then we can click profile. You can see that this dialog box is very similar to the total field, and it can only work for the numeric field as well. So we can just click amount here, and then OK. So it shows a little bit more information about this amount, statistical information about this amount. It has the total value, the absolute value, the minimum value, and the maximum value of the transaction amount. Okay. Okay. Then if you still want to know more detailed statistics, you can first go back to data, and then in the analysis, click the statistical, and then statistics here. You can see in the statistics dialog box, it not only lists the amount field, there is a transaction date field here as well. So we can see that this function can work for both numeric field and the date field. Okay. For example, now I want to get the distribution or the statistics on both of these two fields. I just click statistic on, and then here I click add all to add both of the fields. Okay. And then I click OK. And then OK. So you can see here it shows the results. Okay. So in the statistics result, we can see that it shows the range of the transaction amount. Basically, it's just the maximum amount subtract the minimum amount. And then we have the number of positive amount, the number of negative amount, and the number of zeros. You can see that all the transaction amount are the positive amount. And here it shows the total, the sum of all the transaction amount and the average amount. Okay. And here also shows the 5 highest amount and the 5 lowest amount here. Okay. So that's the statistic you can get for numeric field. And also for the date field, it still calculates some zeros or positives or ranges, but the ranges, it makes sense. It shows that the time frame of this data set. Okay, but this total for the date field is not that meaningful. And here we can also see the 5 latest dates and the 5 earliest dates shown in this table, included in this table. Okay. Okay. So according to this statistic result, we can find something that's unexpected in the table, in data. Actually, we can see that according to the name of this transaction table, it shows that it should be include the transactions in April, right? But we can see that in the 5 earliest dates shows here, it have some dates in January, right? So that shows that this record that related to the dates in January should not be included in this table. And also, we should exclude this record from our analysis. Okay. Okay. Actually, you can see here, according in this result display, you can click into each number to go back to the original record in the table. So that it's easier for you to, if you want to know more detail, it's easier for you to check. Okay? Okay. Okay. So then you can double click the table or click this tab to go back to the table, to the transaction table. Okay. Now we already know that there are some dates in this. There are some transactions in this data set that happened before April. So we have we want to exclude them from analysis, and we have several ways to do that. The first is that we could sort the data set. Okay, it's pretty easy actually. If we want to sort the data set by date, we can just click the date field, the transaction date, to make it highlighted, and you can right-click it, choose Quick Sort Ascending. Okay. You can see that there are about 7 records that happened in January. Okay? And there are also 1 happened in February. Okay. So how to exclude them? You can just choose the first one that happened in April and right-click it to choose. There is a quick filter here. As you can build a filter in Excel or any other software, you can build a filter in ACL too. Okay, you can see, choose this to be on or after. Okay. Okay, then you can see that now here in this new display, it only shows the record that the transactions that happened after on or after April 1st. Okay. Okay. Then these are the data we want to focus. So we may want to save it in another table that then we can, in the future analysis, we can focus on that table. Okay. So in order to do that, we can choose data. There is extract data here. Okay. You can now, because we just want to exclude some record from the original data, we want to keep all the fields in the original data set. So we could just choose record. So if we also want to choose a subset of the field here, you can choose field and just select the fields you want to include in your extraction. Okay? But in our case, we want to include all the fields. So we just choose record, then it will automatically include all the fields here. And then in the this box, we need to input the name of our new data set. We can call it transactions, revised transactions in April or any other. Revised transactions in April. Okay. Then you can just click OK. Then you can see that there is a new table created. Okay. So in this table, we only include the transactions that in April. Okay, let's go back to the original data, the transaction in April data set. Like, I just show you a way to filter the data. Just use a direct, quick filter after you sort the information. And also, we can create a filter directly. From here, there is a filter bar above this, all the transactions. Okay, so if you click this, there is an edit view filter. If you click this, it will show you an expression dialog box. You can use this expression dialog box to build your own filter directly. Okay. After I've done this, I will show you how to delete the filter. Okay. So in order to build a filter, you can see here it lists all the fields in this table. So you can choose. You just need to choose the field you want to include in the filter. In this case, it's the transaction date. So we just double-click transaction date. Okay, and we choose the date should be greater or should be on or after. So we choose this this symbol. It means the greater or on or equal to. And then we just type the date. It's April 1st, 2003. Right. Okay. So we just type 04/01/2003. So is it correct expression that we can use? Before we start to use it, we can try to verify this expression. Here, you can choose the verify. It shows that there is an error in this expression. Why? Because for the dates and the text field, we need to add quotation marks around the value. So let's put a quotation mark here before and after the value, the date, the April 1st, 2003. And then we just do the, it's not, let's see what happened here. 0, 4, 1, 2, 3. It should be correct. Right? I didn't, let me see. Oh, okay. You can see that this is another format. We didn't set the format of the transaction date correctly when we input the data set. So the original format for this, it use the year, and month, and date. Okay, so we can either change the format from the table layout, or we can just follow this format to create our filter. You can see, let's go back to do it again. Transaction date, greater or after is 2003 0401. Okay. Okay, and then we verify it again. That is greater or large. Let's see what happened here. It should be right. Let's try this one. Transaction date 01. It works. Okay, it's the, no, I think it's a quotation mark here. It's another sign. It's not the quotation mark. Yeah, we can directly choose the date from here. Go back to the 2003 in April 1st. Okay, then we type OK. Okay, then now let's verify it. Okay, so probably the best way to build a filter for date is just you choose the date field and choose the right date from this here. There is a date button. You click it and choose the date directly from the schedule. And then you choose OK. So you can see that here it shows the filter and the data are filtered. Okay, as if you want to delete this filter to go back to all the data to the unfiltered original data set, you can just click this sign that has a red cross sign. It shows the removed filter. And then it will remove this filter and go back to the original data set. Okay? Okay. Okay, then there is another function I want to show you here is that as actually in the lectures that the guest speaker gave us, she mentioned that there are in the organization, usually in the payment or in the other data set, there are a lot of duplicate payment or duplicate records here. So you can see it's how to identify or how to check those duplicate records. It's not easy in the other software, like Excel. It's not very difficult to identify them. But in ACL, there is a function to help us to identify duplicate record here. So now we can try to identify whether there are any duplicate transactions in this data set. You just go to the Analyze. There is look for duplicates. Okay. Okay. And here it shows the dialog box for you to identify, to define the duplicate. The first is the duplicate on. It shows that which field you use to define the duplicate. For example, if we choose the transaction amount here, if we add it to this function, then it means that we define the record, the transactions that have the same amount as the duplicate transactions. Okay. Here, for example, let's try with amount first, and then choose OK. And then besides the duplicate on option, you have another option. It's the list fields. Just click it. It will show all the fields in the table as well. It will ask you to choose the fields that you want to include in the final output. Okay. For example, if we want to show all the fields in the output in the duplicate records, here we can add all of the fields, or you can choose some of them to be displayed in your output. Okay. And then you can click OK. And here, if you can also add your own filters in the if option. If you click it, it brings you back to the expression builder. Then you can create your filters here. Okay. And then here you can see there are several more tabs here. One of it is an output. So in the output, it will ask you to define how to show your result. For example, you can show it in the screen. It's just the way we show the statistical result. It will shows in the interface of ACL. Or you can directly print it, or you can save it in a separate table in ACL. Here, for example, I just want to show it in the screen. So I just click screen and then choose OK. And then it shows that there are, according to our definition, there are 2 duplicates are found because they have the same amount. Okay, but you can see that they are, when we look into the data, we can see that they are not really duplicate transactions because they have different transaction dates and have different vendors, the merchants. So to define a more accurate duplications, you could go back. You can see that there is in the results page, there is a comment. You can directly click the comment. It will bring you back. Double click it. It will bring you back to the dialog box of duplicates. Okay. You can, to more accurately define your duplicate, you may want to choose more than one field. For example, here we add another field is the transaction date in duplicate on option. Just click transaction date. Here we include 2 fields here in the duplicate function. It means that if a transaction that have the same amount and happened in the same date, we consider them as duplicate transactions. Okay? And then here we click OK and then OK. And then we find there is no this kind of duplications in this data set. Okay. So this is the duplication function for ACL. I think today I'm going to stop here, and then we will continue next week to do further analysis.